From our Main Street newsroom, this is 2 News Live at 3:30.
Oh, so live on a Tuesday. Great to have you with us here. Parts of southern Utah dealing with flash flooding this summer. We've seen it already time and time again. A live look at the floodplains in Utah and what it means for your property. Also, some new video showing a trooper hit while responding to a call on I-15. We are speaking to him in just a few minutes live right here on 2 News Live at 3:30 about this incident and his message for everyone on the roads. Also a live look from beautiful Moab this afternoon, where shuttle buses will soon be driving around Arches National Park. We're speaking with the county commissioner, one of them in there, in the Grand County area, about the new program and the pushback from people in that community. Thanks for joining us here live on 2 News Live this afternoon. I'm Brian Schnee. It's nice to be back with you here on Tuesday, August 18th. We're going to begin with some new information that just came into our newsroom here from the National Transportation Safety Board on that deadly helicopter crash that took place while firefighters were working the Widemouth 2 fire about a week and a half ago now. The preliminary report says the helicopter took off about 10:20 a.m. from Richfield Airport on August 7th. It checked in with the aerial supervisor. That's the one working overhead there. And they had to get that permission to enter the fire area. Then the supervisor in the air transferred those communications with the fire crew to the ground crews, who gave them instruction, those 2 pilots, on where we want to drop the water. There's a lot of logistics involved in firefighting, especially when you've got air ops involved. So they flew that area to verify, according to the report. They circled back around to make a pass to release the water. And while turning right, according to the report, the helicopter disappeared behind a knoll. The last communication from the pilots were, quote, "Oh, expletive, we have a problem, mayday, mayday, mayday." The helicopter crashed in high country. It caught fire. It destroyed most of the actual frame of the helicopter. And veteran pilots Chris Anderson and Miles Elliott were killed. Homeowners in Hurricane say they didn't know they were in a floodplain until a massive flash flood came right through their area. Samantha Hoffman spoke with Hurricane City about floodplains, how to understand property risk. So Samantha, you've been covering this neighborhood really hit in Hurricane, especially the Pecan townhomes. Can you explain where they fall into flood risk and if they even understand if they were in technically a flood risk area before all of this took place?
Yeah, so the Pecan Townhomes neighborhood has a floodway going through it. So that channel collects most of the water anytime you're going to see rain. But that does make the surrounding homes a flood plain, meaning they could be at risk. We saw that absolutely on Friday when there was so much rain that the floodway wasn't able to contain all of that. That drainage didn't work. So instead, that's when it flooded into the homes. What's unfortunate in this situation is a lot of people did not know that they were in a floodplain. So when they got that alert of a flash flood coming, they didn't know how serious that was. They also said a lot of these homeowners telling me that they were not insured with flood insurance. One homeowner even telling me they were told that they don't qualify.
So Sam, what should homeowners do to check if their property has flood risk and if they're on one of those maps?
Yeah, FEMA has a great resource for the whole country. I was playing around with that today. If you go to the address, it's FEMA Flood Map Service Center. You can plug in any address and it'll give you a detailed map of if you are in a floodplain. There's a striped line that shows you a floodway. I used that looking at Hurricane. It was very definitive of where that is, and that's a very helpful resource. There's another website, floodhazards.utah.gov. That tells you how to use that FEMA resource if you're unfamiliar. Also has some great tips on how to protect your property from floods if you realize you are near a floodway, and it also has tips on how to get insured.
All right, Samantha Hoffman reporting from Hurricane once again here, trying to figure out what's next for that neighborhood, and glad things at least are on the mend. The cleanup has been taking place here over the last couple of days. Sam, thank you. Let's turn to our forecast here with meteorologist Chase Thomason here on this Tuesday afternoon. 2 News Live at 3:30. Nice to have you as always. What are you looking at right now?
Just a couple spotty thunderstorms. I think most of the state is pretty hot and pretty dry, but there's a little weak disturbance that's bringing in a few thunderstorms, mainly over southwestern Wyoming and northeastern Utah. So if you're in the Uinta Basin, the high Uintas, there's some cloud cover, a little bit of rain nearby. We can't rule out maybe a stray shower this afternoon or this evening along the Wasatch Front, but Brian, those rain chances are low for now at about 10%. But that could be changing with our next weather maker.
All right, and what is that next weather maker that you have your eyes on here?
So right now that ridge of high pressure is over central and southern Utah. It's going to be slowly moving eastward, especially as we wrap up the work week and head into the weekend. So that's that classic zone with that high over the four corners, grabs that tropical moisture, then that moisture moves into Utah. And with monsoon moisture, daytime heating, we get some of these pop-up thunderstorms. Of course, they go up over the mountains first, probably down in southern Utah, and then spreading into central and northern Utah later Friday, and especially by the weekend, daily pop-up thunderstorms. And it could stick around into early next week. So the monsoon is making a comeback.
Quick one for you, just on where we are this time of year in August. What is typical for us here to be getting? We've seen some really unique weather swings this year. Where would be the average, if you will, for what we would typically see this time of year?
This is pretty typical, I would say. The last few years, we haven't had a very active monsoon. So yes, it's an active monsoon year. We've had these daily thunderstorms. It's gone away for just a few days. It all depends on the location of this high. If that high is closer into Utah or to our west, we dry out. If it's closer to the Four Corners or even sitting over portions of New Mexico and Colorado, we're kind of on the backside of that high. So it pumps up that moisture. So this is pretty typical for August. As we head into September, though, that's when the jet stream begins to come down and we start to see a few of these fall-like cold fronts. Not seeing that in the forecast anytime soon, so more of these summer monsoon thunderstorms, at least for the next few weeks.
All right, thank you, Chase. We'll see you coming up on 2 News at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
414 was that for me?
10 Park, thank you. That yell again, you're
Terrifying moments for a Utah Highway Patrol trooper in Beaver County. UHP just releasing this dash camera video within the last 24 hours or so. The trooper was stopped on I-15 investigating a crash there when an out-of-control vehicle hit his patrol car. The vehicle also hitting a Beaver County Sheriff's deputy's vehicle. The deputy sustained some minor injuries, including a broken arm, and the trooper was uninjured. After impact, the trooper ran to help people in the other car that was crashed. Several people involved were hit and transported to a nearby hospital. Utah Highway Patrol says this should serve as a reminder to all drivers. Slow down, move over when you see first responders on the side of the road. That trooper, thankfully, as we understand it, doing quite well. Kind enough to join us here this afternoon on 2 News Live, Trooper Chris Hudson. So, Trooper Hudson, thanks for making the time. Glad to see you're back sitting in the patrol car. It doesn't always end up that way, we've seen, but can you just take us back to nearly 7 days ago? From your perspective, what happened here?
It was an unfortunate circumstance, definitely. It was raining, and this should serve as a reminder that you need to slow down when it's raining. That vehicle lost control. It clipped my vehicle with its back end, and then, as the video shows, hit the deputy's vehicle square on.
So where were you when all this took place? Were you seated right where we see you right now?
No, I was in the original crash that we were out there responding to. That female driver was already with the ambulance, but we didn't have any identification for her, so I was in her car looking for her driver's license. I heard the crash. A crash has a sound I don't think I'll ever forget now. But I heard that. I looked up, and my patrol car was missing. The deputy's patrol car was missing, and I looked to my left, and I see my car rolling towards the southbound traffic, and then so I get that vehicle stopped, and then I run over to the deputy's car to check on the deputy, and like you said, luckily very minor injuries for what could have been. So I get him out of the car, and then with medical staff already on scene, they're doing what they do best. They're helping out, and they're already with the drivers of that black car that hit us.
Obviously, we're glad you weren't in the vehicle, but have you ever been in a close call scenario like this before while working the roads?
I've never been hit. This is the first time for my vehicle being hit. I have been in very close calls to where someone's just a little too close. They're not paying attention to the lights. And it's a nerve-wracking moment, but it's a different level of nerves actually having your vehicle get hit and seeing that right in front of you.
Trooper Chris Hudson, before you go, we only have about 15 seconds or so, but you alluded to this. What do you want people to do during these driving conditions, especially while people are working along the roadway, like yourself, investigating a crash that had already taken place?
It's definitely going to be slowed down. Pay attention to the weather, what's happening. Slow down when the weather's not bright and sunny. When you see lights, slow down a little bit more. And then also just keep your vehicle in good working order, right? Windshield wipers, tires, those things are important. They help you see and they help you stay on the road. So I'd say slow down and maintain your vehicle, please.
Utah Highway Patrol Trooper Chris Hudson, glad you're obviously in the position to be able to join us this afternoon to relay this safety message here, and obviously wishing you the best here. Glad you were not in the front seat where you are today. Thanks for joining us here on 2 News Live. A couple of other stories that we're following here this afternoon. An update to the shooting that we had as breaking news right here yesterday. A live look near Murray. The hospital there, that was on lockdown. Unified Police have released the names of some of the people involved. 18-year-old Vilasoni Angelau was killed. Another 18-year-old in critical condition. A 17-year-old suspect also in critical condition. The shooting was outside of a funeral at a church in Kearns. Police now, a 45-year-old man was taken into custody after giving his son the gun that was used in this deadly shooting. Read more about that on our website, by the way, right now, KUTV.com. We have a lot up there. An update to a story we showed you yesterday here on 2 News Live. The water tower on top of this 100-year-old building in Portland, Oregon is now destroyed. The city is taking the building down after a fire more than 2 weeks ago, and officials say the demolition process is unusual because there's no internal structure holding up the building. So the demolition is expected to take about 2 weeks. Let's head over to see what's happening in our content center this afternoon. Jonathan May is here taking a look at what's going on, KUTV.com, our YouTube page. As always, thank you, because you've got something really unique and interesting here. We were talking about this fire in Midville that destroyed those apartment complexes. New video?
Yeah, new video. This fire, you can see here the thermal video. You can see the heat coming from the roof. New video from Unified Fire Authority. This fire here in Midville at this apartment building here on July 31st. Unified Fire Authority shared with us some of this new video of this bird's eye view that kind of goes in and out of it being like a thermal view to just regular view. As you can see here, back to regular view here. So it's this bird's eye view of this fire.
Shows the heat. It's critical for firefighting, and I'm glad they were able to share that with us because we didn't have at times the best perspective of what was going on up high. But we did see a lot of flames, a lot of obviously an uncomfortable situation for so many people that lived there. Obviously, you can find that some still imagery on our website right now.
Yep, still images from the website here, just from that bird's eye view here. Yeah, hundreds of people displaced by this fire, and like you mentioned, we were just looking from below to see the pieces from the roof come up. Now we kind of have that top view now.
Just quickly, how much money are you willing to spend to go to a college football game? I'm putting you on the spot here on live TV.
It depends on.
I mean, are you saying thousands here? Jonathan May, are you saying thousands here?
How good a year am I having?
I don't know. You're having the best year of your life. Are you paying, thousands of dollars to go see BYU Notre Dame? Sounds like people might be willing to pay it.
BYU Notre Dame seems to be maybe the most hyped matchup of college football next year based on these prices. Of course, this is just resell and those changes based on the market as we head into this October 17th kickoff. But yeah, resell as low as $600 to up to $26,000 for BYU Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. And obviously your best bet would be maybe if you want to gamble and try to see if 2 hours before the game you can cut one of those prices in half. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. See all of that right now, by the way, on our website, KUTV.com. Thank you very much,
Brian.
As always. Still ahead here on 2 News Live at 3:30. If you visited Zeiss, Bryce, or Zion, Zeiss, I put them together. That's a first. I love that. Before that, go to our YouTube page, KUTV.com, and all of those to see all of our digital content. Zeiss is now the word. How about Zion or Bryce? They've got some new shuttle buses that might be able to take you about those really cool 2 of the Mighty 5. We'll bring it to you when we come back. News Live, we are listening to you and seeing what you are saying, like some posts on social media about the new shuttle bus program at Arches National Park. Sounds like there's always something going on at Arches that gets a lot of conversation and brings in the community. Earlier this month, opposition to the project led to some members of the commission actually walking out of a meeting because of the proposal about how to fund that. So people on social media are saying, you know, a shuttle would be a great idea, pointing to what's happened with the successes at Zion and Bryce Canyon, or as I said before the break, Zeiss, which is combining the two. Another person asked what was wrong with the time entry program they had, saying it worked well in their opinion. But boy, we've heard a lot of those opinions over the last couple of years, so those pilot programs. And now the shuttle bus conversation has entered for Arches, very popular place. For that, we turn to Grand County Commissioner Brian Martinez discussing this new program, what it would entail, and what it's taken to really get here. First off, Brian, thank you for joining us here on 2 News Live. What is the program, and what could it look like at Arches, and how did the commission get involved?
Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate the time. Yeah, the commission got involved. I think this would have been probably around February of this year in conversations with the national park on getting a shuttle system set up to Arches. We're excited that this is going to be launching here September 1st, and it's just going to help some of those questions that folks go, can I come and visit my national park? We're going to be providing additional access into the park. It will be a hub and spoke style system, so there'll be transportation from downtown Moab into the visitor center, and then from the visitor center there will be a line that goes up to Delicate Arch and then over to the windows area. Yeah, right there, Turret Arch, and then bringing people back. The downtown shuttle is going to have 30-minute headways, and then inside of the national park you'll be seeing 15-minute headways between the stops. This is a pilot program. We're interested in the data that it's going to prove, and we're hoping that we can have a successful system just like that we see in Bryce and Zion.
I'm glad you brought up Bryce and Zion, because that's the one that a lot of people compare this to. And boy, do you love pilot programs at Arches too. That gets a lot of people talking about the longevity of these things. Is this program, as it's set it up right now, is this ideal for how you would like to see it, or are there some potential changes that you'd like to see mixed in, even on the initial startup here?
You know, I think that we set the program up basically in 2 phases. So we'll have September and October when the pilot runs, and then we'll also have March, April, May, and June. This is new for us, so as we're putting this out, of course, we're going to try to learn from, you know, the September and October pilot, and then go ahead and make those changes in March through June. It is an intelligent transportation system, so it will have amenities like Starlink on board, so we'll be able to track visitation and hopefully be able to come up with the best possible situation or shuttle system for Arches National Park.
All right, sounds pretty savvy. Sounds like it's us all dialed in here for some success. Brian, thanks for joining us here on 2 News Live this afternoon. Hope we can do it again soon. Also here on our 2 News Listens conversation with what we're seeing on social media, heading south to Marysville. I love Piute County, by the way. Have I told you that before? A woman there is selling Widemouth 2 Fire t-shirts and hoodies to help support volunteer firefighters. Not the first time they've done this. The woman's friend, Carla, posted on social media saying the design is for all the firefighters who fought to get this fire contained or worked towards containment, and in memory of those 2 pilots we told you about here from that preliminary report at the top of the show who were killed while fighting the fire just about a week and a half ago. Marysville is just southeast of where the fire has been burning, but boy, have they been impacted year after year after year with fire and smoke, and then of course the monsoon rain. So earlier today we spoke with Brenda Yoakum and Carla Engel, who find nothing but joy in this mission of giving back.
We're really having a good time. It does. Yeah, sometimes in the middle of the night, her light will be on, my light will be on, and we know exactly what we're doing. We're stamping shirts. That's just what the community does. That's what small communities, you know, they make pies, they make bread, they make cookies, and technically they're not supposed to, but how do you tell a grandma that you can't make homemade bread or a pie or a cake or cookies to give to firefighters?
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
I love this conversation with these two. Like they mentioned, they are making and stamping these t-shirts in their homes in Marysville and then either dropping them off locally or shipping them. And they told me they've had orders all the way from Australia. You can find it on a Facebook page right now. We'll also be able to try to link you there on our YouTube page when we post this long-form conversation. Social media users, we hear you, we see you, we know exactly what you're saying on social media, and on 2 News Listens, we see what those comments are on Facebook, on Instagram, on Reddit, you name it, for those big conversations happening here in the state of Utah, not just along the Wasatch Front. As you see, spreading it far and wide here. We are back to wrap things up on 2 News Live just after this.
From our Main Street newsroom, this is 2 News Live at 3:30.
Back here on 2 News Live, downtown Salt Lake City. Live look outside downtown Salt Lake City Main Street. Some news coming out of our state capitol today. They said, hey, we are going to approve those Utah Mammoth license plates. So you can start getting those now. Find more at KUTV.com. 2 News at 4 gets going right after this.